You're probably paying for both ChatGPT and Grok right now, wondering which one actually deserves your money and time. Trust me, I've been testing both of these AI powerhouses for months, spending way too much on API calls and subscriptions to figure this out. But here's what surprised me. The winner completely depends on something most reviewers never talk about. Welcome back to bitbiased.ai, where we do the research so you don't have to. Join our community of AI enthusiasts with our free weekly newsletter. Click the link in the description below to subscribe. You will get the key AI news, tools, and learning resources to stay ahead. So in this video, I'll share my real-world experience with both OpenAI's ChatGPT 5.2 and Elon Musk's Grok-4.1, breaking down exactly when each one dominates and where they totally fail. We're going to dive deep into their architecture, multimodal capabilities, coding skills, and most importantly, which one will actually save you time and money in your specific workflow. First up, let's look at what's actually under the hood of these AI giants, because the technical differences explain everything about their real-world performance. Model architecture and the tech that actually matters. Now, both of these models are built on transformer architecture, but that's where the similarities end. ChatGPT 5.2 is doing something really clever here. It's got 3 different modes: Instant for quick tasks, Thinking for complex reasoning, and Pro for when you absolutely need perfection. What OpenAI isn't telling you is that this is essentially a single mega agent with over 20 tools baked right in. Think about that for a second. Instead of juggling multiple AI tools, you've got one system that dynamically allocates computing power based on what you're asking it to do. Meanwhile, Grok 4.1 is flexing with something equally impressive, but totally different. It's running on xAI's Colossus supercomputer. And when I say supercomputer, I mean 200,000 NVIDIA GPUs. That's not just a big number. It's the reason Grok can handle up to 1 million tokens in a single conversation. To put that in perspective, that's like feeding it an entire novel and having it remember every single detail while you chat. ChatGPT 5.2 tops out around 400,000 tokens, which is still massive, but here's where it gets interesting. The real magic isn't in the raw numbers, though. ChatGPT 5.2 uses what they're calling adaptive reasoning. Basically, it's smart about being smart. It won't waste expensive compute on simple questions, but will go all out when you need deep analysis. Grok takes a different approach with its fast and thinking modes. But wait until you see what happens when we test them head-to-head on actual tasks. The secret sauce nobody talks about. This is where things get spicy. And honestly, where most reviews completely miss the point. ChatGPT 5.2 was trained on what OpenAI calls safe completion data, which sounds boring until you realize what it means for your daily use. They've essentially taught it to be a professional assistant that won't embarrass you in front of clients or generate anything that could get you in trouble. It's been hammered with human feedback loops until it learned to stay in its lane perfectly. But here's what's fascinating about Grok 4.1. And this is something you won't hear anywhere else. It's been trained not just on internet text and code, but it has live integration with X, formerly Twitter. That means while ChatGPT is working with data that has a cutoff date, Grok is literally learning from what's happening on X right now. The implications of this are huge, and I'll show you exactly how this plays out in real scenarios in just a minute. What really sets Grok apart in training is its reinforcement learning pipeline. They didn't just train it once, they used other AI models as judges to score its responses on friendliness, accuracy, and helpfulness, then retrained it based on those scores. The result? Grok's hallucination rate dropped from 12% to just 4%. That's a game changer for reliability. ChatGPT still has the edge in formal safety training, but Grok's approach creates a more natural, conversational feel that some users absolutely love. Beyond just text. All right. This is where both models really start to show off, and the differences become crystal clear. ChatGPT 5.2 is what I'd call the Swiss Army knife of multimodal AI. It doesn't just read images. It generates them through DALL integration, creates charts, analyzes spreadsheets with visual data, and can even work with experimental video features through Sora. When I uploaded a complex financial dashboard screenshot, it not only read every number, but generated a cleaner, more professional version in seconds. Now, Grok 4.1 takes a different philosophy here, and honestly, it might be the smarter approach for most users. Instead of trying to do everything, it absolutely nails image and video understanding. The OCR capabilities are insane. I threw handwritten notes, memes with tiny text, and even short video clips at it, and it understood everything perfectly. It can watch a GIF or an X video and give you insights that feel almost human in their understanding of context and humor. But here's the thing nobody's talking about. The context window differences completely change how you use these multimodal features. With Grok's million token window, you can upload an entire presentation deck, have it analyze every slide, and then have a conversation about specific details 20 slides later without it forgetting anything. ChatGPT's 400,000 tokens is still huge, but in practice, this difference matters more than you'd think, especially for professional workflows. The real question isn't which one has better multimodal capabilities, it's which one fits your workflow. If you need to generate visual content, ChatGPT wins hands down. But if you're analyzing existing visual content, especially with humor or cultural context, Grok often understands nuance in ways that'll surprise you, where the rubber meets the road. Let me be brutally honest here. If you're a developer, this section will probably determine your choice. ChatGPT-5.2 just demolished every coding benchmark out there. We're talking 55.6% on SWE Bench Pro, which is notoriously difficult, and a perfect 100% on the AIME 2025 math contest. But benchmarks are one thing. Let me tell you what happened when I gave both models a real coding challenge from my actual work. I asked both to refactor a messy 500-line Python script with multiple dependencies. ChatGPT 5.2 not only cleaned up the code, but identified 3 potential security vulnerabilities I hadn't even noticed. It provided step-by-step explanations that would make a senior developer proud. The structure was immaculate. The variable names made sense, and it even added comprehensive error handling without being asked. Grok 4.1 approached the same task completely differently, and this is where its personality really shines through. Instead of just refactoring, it turned my script into a full narrative, explaining not just what the code does, but why certain approaches might be problematic in production. It was like having a friendly senior developer walk you through the code over coffee. The actual refactoring was solid, not quite as clean as ChatGPT's, but the explanations were so detailed and accessible that a junior developer could understand everything. Here's what really surprised me, though. When I threw multi-step reasoning problems at them, the kind where you need to plan several moves ahead, Grok's Agent Tools API absolutely destroyed the competition. It can simultaneously search the web, run Python code, and fetch documentation, all while maintaining context about what it's trying to achieve. ChatGPT is more precise with pure logic, but Grok chains tools together in ways that feel almost magical. It scored higher than GPT 5.2 on agentic benchmarks like Tau Squared Bench, and once you see it in action, you understand why. Memory and personalization, the feature that changes everything. This is the part where personal preference really comes into play, and honestly, both approaches have their merits. ChatGPT's memory feature is like having an assistant who actually remembers your preferences. After a few weeks of use, it knew my coding style, my favorite frameworks, and even my writing tone. You can review and edit these memories, which gives you this weird but cool feeling of training your own AI assistant. But what really sets ChatGPT apart here is the custom GPTs feature. I've built specialized versions for different clients. One that writes in their brand voice, another that knows their entire codebase structure. It's like having multiple specialized assistants that share the same powerful brain. The downside? Setting this up takes time, and managing multiple custom GPTs can get confusing. Grok's approach to memory is refreshingly transparent. You can see exactly what it remembers about you, no black box mystery. While it doesn't offer custom bots like ChatGPT, its Agent Tools API with MCP tools lets developers create incredibly personalized experiences. Plus, Grok's personality is already so distinctive, witty, casual, sometimes even cheeky, that it feels personalized right out of the box. Some users love this. Others find it unprofessional. There's no middle ground here. What actually happens when you use them? Let's talk about what happens when you stop running benchmarks and start doing actual work. I've been using both models in production for months, and the differences are striking. ChatGPT 5.2, integrated into my workflow through Notion, Slack, and Google Drive, has genuinely saved me about 10 hours per week. That's not marketing fluff. That's actual tracked time on repetitive tasks like spreadsheet formatting, slide creation, and code documentation. The polish on ChatGPT 5.2's outputs is remarkable. When I asked it to create a financial model, the spreadsheet it generated looked like something from a Fortune 500 presentation. The formatting was perfect, formulas were optimized, and it even included helpful comments explaining complex calculations. Grok's attempt at the same task was functional, but looked like a rough draft in comparison. But here's where Grok absolutely dominates: real-time information and cultural context. When I needed to analyze sentiment about a recent product launch, Grok pulled live data from X, analyzed thousands of posts, and generated insights that would have taken me days to compile. It understands memes, gets sarcasm, and picks up on cultural nuances that ChatGPT completely misses. For social media managers, researchers, or anyone needing finger-on-the-pulse insights, Grok is irreplaceable. The integration story is fascinating, too. ChatGPT has 60-plus app integrations and works seamlessly with enterprise tools, but Grok's tight integration with X means it's always current. During a recent major news event, I asked both models for updates. ChatGPT gave me well-structured but outdated information. Grok gave me real-time analysis with links to breaking developments. The difference was night and day. Safety, alignment, and when things go wrong. Nobody likes to talk about this, but both models can still mess up, and how they handle it matters. ChatGPT 5.2 is almost paranoid about safety. Sometimes it refuses perfectly reasonable requests because they might possibly maybe be construed as slightly problematic. It's like having an overly cautious assistant who needs constant reassurance that yes, it's okay to help write that horror story, or analyze that controversial topic. The flip side is that ChatGPT virtually never produces genuinely harmful content. In my months of testing, including deliberate attempts to break it, the safety barriers held firm. For business use, this conservative approach is actually a feature, not a bug. You never have to worry about it generating something that could cause PR problems. Grok-4.1 takes a more relaxed approach, which can be refreshing or concerning depending on your use case. Its 4% hallucination rate is impressively low, and it passed every safety test ARC-AI threw at it. But its personality means it might crack jokes where ChatGPT would offer a disclaimer. In my testing, it never crossed any serious lines, but its informal style might not fly in conservative corporate environments. What I love is that it politely explains when it can't do something rather than acting shocked that you even asked. What the numbers really mean. Everyone loves to quote benchmarks, but let me tell you what they actually mean for your daily use. ChatGPT 5.2's 89.6% on MMLU and perfect score on AIME 2025 math problems sounds impressive, and it is. In practice, this means it almost never makes computational errors and can handle graduate-level academic work without breaking a sweat. When I needed to analyze complex statistical models for a research project, it didn't just solve them. It explained the methodology better than most textbooks. But Grok's benchmark victories tell a different story that's equally compelling. Its 1722 ELO on Creative Writing v3 isn't just a number. It means when you need engaging, human-like content, Grok delivers something special. I had both models write product descriptions for the same item. ChatGPT's was accurate and professional. Grok's made me actually want to buy the product. That emotional intelligence score isn't just academic. It translates to responses that feel genuinely thoughtful and empathetic. What's really interesting is how these benchmarks predict real-world performance. ChatGPT's dominance in coding benchmarks absolutely translates to better code output. But Grok's victories in agentic benchmarks mean it's better at complex, multi-step tasks that require tool use. Choose your benchmarks based on what you actually need to accomplish. The hidden costs nobody mentions. Let's talk money, because this is where things get complicated. ChatGPT Plus seems reasonable until you realize GPT-5.2. Thinking mode can burn through your allocation fast. The Pro tier gives you more headroom, but at that price point, you're making a serious commitment. For API users, those 1.75 per million input tokens add up quickly, especially if you're processing large documents. But here's the trick most people miss. ChatGPT's efficiency often makes it cheaper per task, despite higher token costs. That perfectly formatted spreadsheet that took one prompt? Grok might need 3 attempts to get close. Time is money, and ChatGPT often saves both. For businesses, the enterprise features like privacy guarantees and unlimited GPT-5.2 access can actually be cost-effective at scale. Grok's pricing model is genuinely disruptive. Free access through X is a game-changer for casual users. The API pricing at 0.20 per million input tokens is competitive, and that massive context window means fewer conversation resets. During their launch promotion, even tool calls were free. But watch out. Those $5 per $1,000 tool uses can add up if you're doing heavy agentic work. Still, for most users, Grok offers incredible value, especially if you're already on X. Which one should you actually choose? After months of testing, thousands of prompts, and probably too much money spent on both, here's my honest take. If you're doing professional work that requires consistency, precision, and polish, ChatGPT 5.2 is your answer. It's the boring, reliable choice that just works. For coding, academic work, or anything where mistakes are costly, it's worth every penny. But if you need real-time information, cultural awareness, or just want an AI that feels more like a knowledgeable friend than a corporate assistant, Grok-4.1 is phenomenal. For social media managers, content creators, or anyone working with current events, it's actually the superior choice. That million-token context window and agentic capabilities open up workflows that simply aren't possible with ChatGPT. Here's my actual setup. I use ChatGPT 5.2 for client work, coding projects, and anything requiring professional polish. I use Grok 4.1 for research, creative writing, and staying current with trends. Together, they cost less than a junior assistant and provide more value than a team of contractors. The real winner isn't choosing one or the other. It's understanding when to use each one's strengths. The landscape is evolving so fast that by the time you watch this, there might be new features or pricing changes. But the fundamental differences, ChatGPT's polish versus Grok's personality, safety versus spontaneity, precision versus real-time awareness, those will likely persist. Choose based on what you actually need, not what benchmarks tell you is better. What's your experience been with these models? Drop a comment below with your most impressive ChatGPT or Grok moment. I read every single one and often test your suggestions in follow-up videos. And if this comparison helped you make a decision, that subscribe button helps me keep creating these deep dives. Next week, we're looking at whether Anthropic's Claude 4.5 can compete with these giants. You won't want to miss that showdown.